think you know what this is. I think you listen to this podcast.
I think you like commenting and subscribing.
We can go ha in it. We can listen real long.
When we're doing our bits, I think you know like this podcast.
Welcome to the No Thanks We're Good podcast. My name is Chris Barnes.
My name's Caroline Banowitz.
We just got back from some shows that Caroline did in Nashville and Charlotte. Shout out to the people who came to see Caroline.
It was really fun.
And shout out to, we had two listeners we talked to, Elle and Kaylin.
And also there was Caroline as well. There was another Caroline.
There also was another Caroline.
But they were so wonderful. They were so great. They traveled to the show.
They traveled to the show. They drove across state lines to see us. How incredible. It was a good trip, honestly. I really liked Nashville a lot. Charlotte, we went on a Sunday, and apparently just the city of Charlotte is like
closed on Sunday.
It's just closed.
Everything was CVS was closed.
Everything was
closed. Like, I'm surprised our hotel was open.
They could have shot the new season of Last of Us there.
No.
No one was there.
No one was there.
It
Not
was
a
empty.
single person, yeah.
They were on Chick-fil-A hours.
And it was like actually such a beautiful city,
It was so
I believe
nice.
it's because there was no one there.
There
so
was
there
no
was
one
like
there.
trash.
It was nice because no one was there.
Yeah.
And that's honestly maybe what
We have to do.
we have to do. We had a few interesting Uber rides. You know when like you can hear a car coming from like a block away where it's like
And it's
like
like
the
because of
bass.
music.
The music, yeah, the
The car's shaking.
yeah. When you, that's what I always wonder. Anytime like you're like in a neighborhood and there's just a car that's just like like the music is vibrating the car.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, how is the person inside of the car enjoying that?
No.
Their ears must be bleeding.
So loud. And then the craziest part about it is with the blasting EDM house music at the top of the volume. He tries making conversation.
Oh yeah,
with us.
he's trying to talk to it. Also,
Have you
the
been to
inside.
Nashville before?
Yeah. So, and then he started giving us facts. He's
Yeah.
like, more live music than any other city. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
he goes,
thank you.
so what's your guys' like situation? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. He was asking us like our deal.
Do you expect an Uber to help you with your bags?
I don't know. I don't care. Like they gotta open the trunk though, because you can't for
Well,
some
you have
reason.
to open the trunk. I don't know if I mind. There's something like that feels really off about them helping you with their bags.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't want
It's like,
them
what
to.
are you trying to get a tip? Because it's not happening.
Oh, it's more of like I feel bad. Like I feel bad
Oh,
that
okay.
like I almost feel like, oh, I feel weird. But then when they don't do it, I'm kind of like,
all right.
you didn't want to help?
Do you even want to pick me up?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you didn't even get out of the car, you know?
Okay, it's like you're only here to make money.
Yeah. Caroline made a mistake by telling this guy almost immediately that
Well, he asked what we did.
He asked what we did, and okay. This isn't an issue for probably most people.
No, I think this is an issue for a lot of
You think it is? Okay. Like, obviously, Caroline and I are both comedians. We're full-time comedians, we're so happy that's our jobs. But it's not always good because, like, when you tell people that, like, they want to really, like, talk a lot about that. And if I were just, like, a guy who worked in marketing, like, that's kind of, it's like whatever.
Or an Uber driver with a love of house music.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so Caroline off the bat tells this guy that we're both comedians.
What else am I supposed to say? I'm not going to lie to him.
You gotta be like, we're in town for business. We're both accountants. You gotta say that because like they don't know anything about that. But yeah, so then now we have to talk about comedy and like it's always the problem is that those types of people always like think that they can be comedians.
Yeah.
So he was like doing bits to us. He was like, he was like talking about the girls in Nashville. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was like, well, you got the bachelorette parties in Nashville, then you got the hunting parties. Well, they're not actually hunting for deer, they're hunting for women. And we're like, okay.
Yeah. And then he was like, and then you got the divorce parties.
Yeah.
And he was like, I had mine 3 years ago. And then he started going, well, it was more like this. I had mine 3 years ago.
Yeah, because it's like.
It was real messy. Real messy.
I honestly believe that Uber drivers shouldn't really say a word at all. Like, I prefer my Uber driver to be eerily quiet. Like, almost to the point where I'm like, am I being kidnapped? Like, I want to feel a little.
I want to feel sex trafficked.
I want to feel a little uncertain about where I'm going. Like, I want him to make at least one wrong turn on purpose, so I feel like, oh boy. I want my Uber driver to be like wanted for like crimes in another country. Like I really want him to be like on the run, maybe using a different name. I want him to be all focused on business. That's it. And I do want the fear that I may never see my family ever again. while I'm getting
That's how
a ride to the
fast I
bar.
want them to drive. I want
Yeah.
them to drive like, oh my God, like, are we being chased?
Yeah, that's another thing. I feel like Uber drivers, some are really good at like making lights and merging quickly, and some I'm like, you could have. I'm like sitting in the back, like you could have made that.
You know what you want? You want a cab driver.
I want
you want a cab driver.
I
You
really
just
want a
need to
cab
get
driver.
taxis.
That's what I want.
That's actually just a
Let's
cab
bring
driver.
back cab drivers, please.
Yeah, cab drivers are wild.
Yeah. They don't give a fuck. They don't. I want a driver who's not following the rules of the road. I want you to, if you need to, if we're in traffic, go in the bike lane. You know, like
Yeah.
have fun. Drive a little illegally. I want to maybe be like, are we gonna get pulled over?
And I like the only words I want you to say are when you're screaming at another person driving.
Like,
And I kind of like getting in on it. Like
I'm
I'm
like
what-
this
if-
asshole.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, we like bond over that. Like if someone cuts off my cab driver, and I'm like, come learn how to drive.
Yeah.
I have a friend who was an Uber driver for a little bit, and he didn't talk on the Uber, and he
Yeah.
said one time he was driving, and the person in the back of the Uber said something, and he was actually shocked he forgot there was someone in the car.
oh, he jumped. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. He's locked in. He's He's disassociating during work.
Yeah.
There's really 3 types of Uber drivers. Okay. There's the ones that are loud and they have a personality and they're going to talk to you. There's the ones who don't talk at all and potentially are maybe a domestic terrorist undercover. And then there's the one that is always just on the phone.
Okay, so I would say most drivers are the one that are always
They're always
on
on the phone. What is it with Uber? They're just always, they got the AirPods in and they're talking to just somebody.
You know, I don't really mind that because I'm like, what would I be doing if I was an
Yeah.
Uber driver? Like, I'd be bored. Like, and I have seen this setup: Uber driver on the phone,
Yeah.
GPS up on the right, and on the left they're scrolling TikTok.
They have scrolling TikTok or they have an iPad with Candy Crush. I've seen
Yeah.
that. Well, I think like that's how you, in modern times, that's how you pay attention to the road.
Yeah, because if I don't have
It's a little boring.
subway chasers up, like I'm gonna forget, I'm gonna get bored, I'm not gonna pay attention, I'm gonna crash.
Yeah.
And I actually think that we should, like cars, especially smart cars, you know, like the Teslas, whatever, we should be able to do half the road, half a slime video
Slime video
on the
or-
on like the.
Oh, you mean
know,
on a display on the windshield where it's like
Yeah.
you can like throw up an image on the windshield, and it could be like soap cutting videos while
Yeah.
you're driving.
or like those bottles falling down the stairs.
Oh, those are great. They're filled with paint and they smash.
Yeah.
Those are great. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be soon.
Have you ever been in an Uber? You call the Uber because you're a girl's girl,
Yeah.
and your friends get in the car. They ask the Uber driver for the aux, and you immediately are like, "Oh shit, my rating's going
Yeah,
down."
I think we're over the aux cord.
In the Uber.
Like there has been different eras of Uber. When Uber first came out, it was amazing because you'd get in and like the drivers were like, do you remember this? They used to have like candy.
They used to have candy.
They used to have like mints. They used to have water bottles.
Every once in a while, someone will have those.
Yeah, but that's another tier now. You have to like pay for that. But you used to get in, people used to be like, "Oh, would you guys want candy? Do you want the aux cord?" Right? I'm over aux cord. No one's doing aux cord.
I just want
anymore.
to charge my phone.
I do. Yeah, only charge phone maybe. Now we have some Ubers that have like behind
The game.
Yeah, behind the headset. There's like an iPad game.
Yeah, but I'm just
Trivia.
getting car sick.
Yeah,
I'm just getting car
you
sick
do
with
get
that
car
one.
sick a lot. I think that the worst type of car you could get if you order an Uber is actually a Tesla, which is counterintuitive because Teslas are really nice, but it's actually the worst ride.
No, I'm holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, like how car sick you can get in a Tesla, and like also like getting in a Tesla in itself is hard. Like you're like trying to figure out like you're not sure like how to get the handle, like where do my finger? It's kind of like when men finger women. Like
Yeah.
they just like don't. They like I know the general idea. I know the general design.
Yeah, it's somewhere around here. I know I'm in the right area,
and I know that
yeah.
I put one in, but I'm not
yeah.
sure if I do one or two.
Yeah, is this working? I don't know.
Yeah. Do I pull while I push?
Do I push?
Yeah,
What happens here? Yeah. Well, really, it's like Teslas are just giant like go-karts. The stop and go motion of them is just so irritating.
Yeah, so it's like, and if you never like have been in a Tesla, if you've never tried to get the handle, like if you're poor,
Yeah.
it's difficult. And also the other kind of doors are the butterfly doors.
Yeah.
But those butterfly doors are just doing the Nazi salute.
Yeah.
And now that we know that,
There's been no bigger like rug pull on people than like anyone who bought a Tesla
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Like a liberal
person, like, oh, the environment. Yeah, there's no gas. I'm not supporting
I'm better
fossil
than
fuels.
you. I'm better than you.
Like now that their car is literally like Hitler's car, it
Yeah.
must be really tough to deal with.
It must be really hard driving the Hitlermobile.
Yeah, and you have to be like, no, I didn't
guys, I got it for the environment. I got it for the environment.
You can't get rid of it. I mean, it is a nice
It's
car.
worse for the environment to get rid of it.
I don't even know, but like it is worse for the environment if you were to get rid of it. You're right. Like you can't even like do anything with that stuff. But I think it's a nice car.
Yeah.
Like I think it is, but like there is something about the ride that is just not. It just feels so.
Oh my God,
weird.
it's horrible.
Yeah. Ubers really should just be like one type of car. It should just be like a Nissan Altima every single time. Just that. We actually had an Uber this weekend that was a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
Which is like not an Uber car.
But like it was like comforting to know that if we got in an accident, like our falls would be saved by the amount of rubber duckies.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy.
And by the way, I want you to picture what you think a man driving a white Jeep Wrangler with like 100 rubber duckies and cowboy hats looks like. And I want you to know it was like a handsome black man.
Yeah, it didn't look at all like a Jeep Wrangler, a white Jeep Wrangler driver. It was so goofy.
It was goofy.
And like Jeep Wranglers.
Hey, you can't judge a man by his car.
No, you can't.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
No.
And you can't judge a man by his car.
No.
And he also, not only that, when I put my suitcases in the back, he had a bucket of rubber duckies to give to other people.
That's
so
right.
Not only was he putting the rubber duckies on his windshield, he is participating in the rubber ducky thing. And if you're not familiar, if you have is it a Jeep Wrangler?
It's a Jeep Wrangler. They have like ducks or something.
They have little rubber duckies, and if you like someone's Jeep Wrangler, you'll put a little rubber ducky on their Jeep, and they'll put it in their dashboard, and it's like a little thing that people
This sounds
have.
like, I hate to say it, this sounds like the behavior of like
sorority girls
or like gay men in the 60s. Like as to how to like identify that they're also gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like how lesbian women will wear their keys around their belt loop.
Oh, I didn't know
That was like a sign.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, but I will say, like, I love that people are having fun.
Yeah. Caroline and I just finished watching the show on Netflix called Adolescence.
Yes, it was very good.
It's a great show. If you haven't seen it before, basically
This is not a spoiler. This is in the trailer.
the show basically follows like a teenage boy. He's like 13 years old.
13 years old.
And he's being accused of murdering one of his classmates. It takes place in England. It's all shot in one take.
Incredible.
It's really incredible.
The performances are amazing. But the thing that's crazy about this boy, besides being 13 and murdering his classmate, is this is like a normal kid from a normal family, good kid, never showed signs of anything. If anything, he's like a little shy.
Yeah. The first scene of this show is great because it's like a SWAT team like breaking into this British home, which is really excessive, by the way. It's like 300 SWAT guys.
They didn't even try to ring the doorbell.
They didn't even knock and go, "Hey, police!" They went, boosh, broke in, and the first scene of the whole show is just like the British father being like, "Whoa!" They go upstairs and they like, you know, they wake up the boy by putting a gun in his mouth, and they're like, "Jamie, you're under arrest, mate." And then he peed his pants.
Yeah.
The great thing about this show is that like it had to take place in Britain because this is not how it would go down in America.
No, this is
in
not how it would
America.
go down.
This is in America. The police would knock on your door and the parents would answer and they go, "Who did my kid kill? Who did he kill?" And they go, "Oh, go get him." All right.
They'd be like, "Oh, he killed Sarah in his grade," and the parents would go, "Well, what was she wearing?"
Yeah, what was she wearing?
The parents would go, "Okay, well, I'll call her mom."
Yeah.
Her mom is quite a bitch.
Yeah. They'd be like, what did my terrorist son do now? Immediately assume he's getting.
They'd bail him out.
In the British show, they're like, he didn't do anything. He's just a boy.
Yeah.
Right? In America, they'd be like, yeah, he probably fucking did it. He did it.
Yeah,
that
he
kid's
probably
a
did it.
menace.
They would honestly find just like text messages of him being like, "Yeah, I killed her, LOL."
Yeah. Yeah. They would. That's the American version. British version. He didn't
And by
do
the
it.
way, he wouldn't be canceled.
No, he wouldn't.
He's a bright future.
Yeah, there'd be a bunch of podcasters being like, he's innocent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The hardest part about watching the show, Adolescence, is that the British accents.
Oh, it's not that the little boy killed his classmate.
No, that's not the hardest part. No. The British accents and the British expressions, they really, for me, just take me out of it completely.
And we were watching with captions because we were having a hard time understanding what they were saying.
As soon as the show came on, I knew, we got to put captions on. We got to put them on.
And even though we could understand the words they were saying, we started to be like, we don't know
What are these expressions?
Like at one point the kid goes, I have funny tummy.
Or like there's a scene where the dad is going to visit the kid in jail and he hadn't eaten yet, so he gets him a bowl of cornflakes and he's like, son, you have to eat your cornies. When they were booking him into the police station, they're like, what's your name, mate? What's your name?
He's like, I'm Jamie, Copplestone, Buckingham Palace, Spice Girls.
Have you had your tea?
Hey love,
Had
how
you
like tea?
Had you had brekkie, mate? She was
stibby stabby.
She was snibby stabbied up in the Busno. And then they're like, a new bombshell has entered the villa.
Yeah.
Little 13-year-old Jamie. He's a bit of a murderer, ain't he?
Hey, let me take a stab at being the most popular person in this prison. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make an impression.
For our next sexy game, Jamie will pin the knife on the 13-year-old girl.
That's all UK prisons.
All UK prisons are just Love Island.
Yeah, they're just Love Island.
We were getting on, right?
We were having a
getting
chat.
on until, he shanked me. He shanked me in the yard, and I thought, no, for this next challenge, we'll be taking sexy communal showers.
For this challenge, you can sneak as much as you can inside of your bum into the cell. When civilizations in the future look at us, we look at the Stanford prison experiment, they're gonna look at Love Island. I'm not gonna say that like reality television is torture.
Yeah.
But like you think of like Love Island and you're like, how is that
A real
legal? You leave them in a place where they can't contact their family. They're being filmed 24/7.
They
have
cameras in the bathroom.
They have to sleep in these beds.
Yeah.
Like, how is this legal?
I mean, honestly, maybe that's what new, like, you know how they always say that we need to reform the prison system?
Maybe we just need to put cameras and make it a reality show?
Maybe we just make, like, some crimes, you don't go to prison, you just get sentenced to a reality TV show. That's the new sentence.
Yeah, no. I think some crimes, like, obviously not murder.
Like, you now have to compete.
But tax fraud?
Yeah. I think that's fun, because now we're getting free entertainment from you. All profits go to the government to pay off the people you ripped off.
Now, do you remember that crazy, crazy reality show of that guy who had to, like, figure out how to get out of a room?
No. What is that?
Oh, my God.
Is it just Escape the Room, the show?
No, it's horrible. Like, they basically put this guy in, like, a prison cell or something, like a hotel room. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
And he had to figure out a way to get out. So, like, one of the things he did was, like, he had to raise a certain amount of money.
Okay.
You know the story, don't?
No, I don't.
Okay, I have to look up what it's called because it's really famous. So I think it was in Japan, where this man was trapped in an apartment room, only able to survive off winning sweepstakes. And it was like for months and months, and it was the most watched show in Japan. And basically, he had to like try to win sweepstakes and survive off of it. And in the finale, the walls came down and he was on stage in a full studio of people were there watching him. And it turns out it wasn't even an apartment. It was a set in a studio. And like he was in like his underwear and stuff like that. And he was so psychologically tortured by that. Like, I think he said something about like him being in his underwear was just like beyond, like that was. And so then he became like super famous. But once again, like he wasn't rich. Yeah. But he became super famous. And then they did it to him again. They locked him in another room. Like I don't know what he thought was going to happen, but they tricked him again and he had to do it again.
How are they legally allowed to, like, they're kidnapping this guy?
Crazy.
And does he keep the money he wins?
I do know that like it's been a while, but I listened to a podcast on him and he like did not have money.
Wow. So they're just like torturing a homeless person basically for entertainment.
But it was like a normal guy. Like I don't know how he got into this. It's terrible. It was like a psychological.
He probably signed one of those terms and conditions, and in there it said
Squid Games.
Squid Games, basically, yeah.
Obviously I want prison reform. Obviously I want no death penalty. Like there's so much I want. There's people in prison who don't deserve to be in prison. But I'm talking about like small, like what was the girl Olivia Jade, her mom?
Yeah, what'd she do?
Her mom went to jail for like scamming to get her daughter into school. Do you remember that? The Full House girl.
See that? You're talking about the Varsity Blues scandal.
Yeah, and
which is, by the way, the dumbest of scandals.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Rich people paying for their kids to get into school.
Oh, shocking.
What? No, the only
And
thing,
by the way, how come she had a Photoshop better than the Buckingham Palace?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Wait, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Remember how the Buckingham Palace had such bad Photoshop and yet they were able to...
They paid a professional, that's why.
Yeah.
No, but like it's the dumbest scandal because like legit, all they had to do was to avoid that was just pay the school directly as opposed to faking that they were in rowing or whatever and crew.
Yeah.
Like what? Why go through all that work? Just pay the school. Like, that's how it works. You pay the school to get your kid in. Like,
This is gonna sound like a
donate to the school.
What I'm about to say is like gonna be so duh.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I feel like when I was growing up, like you would look up at things like going to Harvard or like certain like incredible milestones that certain people achieve, especially young. And you're like, wow, there are just people who are more talented than other people. And granted, there are. But the older I get, the more I'm like, oh, I could have done that if I had what you had. Like,
yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, people do pay to get their kids into school, or pay to
absolutely.
or like a lot of people who like break out of nowhere, like superstars who break out of nowhere, like they're related to people.
Nepotism is,
which is fine.
It's fine.
But anyways, I'm talking about people like her. Like, I'm not talking about like mentally ill people, wrongly convicted people, people who've been in jail longer than they should.
There's some people that are going to jail. They did something wrong, like the Martha Stewart types. It's like it's always white collar crime. It's always like a crime that no one got hurt physically, but
rich
maybe
people.
Financially crimes.
And their lives are going to be fine.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to like some jail that's like barely a jail.
Yeah, it's barely a jail.
They're going to go to an Equinox.
Yeah,
it's basically an Equinox
the jail.
It's an Equinox the jail. Okay, instead, let's just put them on Big Brother.
Just put them on a show.
Like, put them on Big Brother.
Film it. You know?
Okay.
What are we going to... Because the other people they put on reality TV shows, a lot of them, a little mentally ill. They try to find the mentally ill, right?
They do.
Let's just put our prisoners on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you win, you get out early. That's the prize. Okay? If you win the show, you get out early. And it can be any
And by the way,
show.
they're going to get out early anyways because they're like Bill Cosby.
And also, while you're in jail, you know what you're doing? Building a following.
That's
good. Okay? So reality show jail, new thing. It's how we reform the prison system. Some people are going to like want to go to jail.
This is basically Anna Delvey's career.
This is, exactly. You're building it's like The Bachelor, but for jail. Okay, you go, they're going to be asking, are you in jail for the right reasons? That's what they're going to be saying. Yeah. Are you in jail for the right reasons? Did you want to come here?
Did you want to come here?
Did you actually feel bad for the crimes you committed, or did you want the exposure of this show?
Oh, you just wanted the exposure.
That's a problem with the show.
Yeah, it's a problem with the show.
Yeah. Would it be a dating show? What kind of show would be the prison show?
Well, a dating show's hard because prisons are separated by gender.
They are, but maybe this prison isn't. Maybe we make it maybe there's a honeymoon solitary confinement suite.
Yeah, well, there has to be a dating element of like all reality TV shows.
There has to be a dating element. I think it should be competition-based.
Yeah.
Maybe talent-based, not physical challenged. I don't think like Survivor, that's too intense. I think it should be...
No, this is like gotta be... This is lighthearted.
I think every round of it will be a different challenge. Maybe similar to The Apprentice. Okay, have you ever watched The Apprentice?
No, but I know what The Apprentice is.
Every
By the way, I would love Trump on this reality show, and I do.
Trump should.
I want when he does
bring
go.
him back.
Yeah. No, I don't even think I want him as the host. I think I want him in.
You
as
want
a
him in the
contestant.
prison? Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't know. I don't think he'll ever go to prison.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
But like I think it should be an Apprentice style thing. Every challenge is a different challenge. Okay, maybe there's a singing competition one round. Maybe there's a talent show. Okay, maybe here's a fun one. Maybe one of them has to like dig a tunnel underneath and get out.
I love that.
The escape challenge.
I love that.
Who can evade the guards the longest?
Oh, so it's almost like It's like whoever can get out of jail first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. And it would be a great show. We'd mic everyone up.
Everyone's mic'd.
And we're going to have some like special guest security guards. They're going to come
like
in.
Like RuPaul's one.
Maybe it's more like
Drag Race.
Maybe it's more like Drag Race.
Well, I was thinking like, they could do like
Drag Race jail.
Well, yeah, or like, it could be a little bit like what's the runway one? Project Runway, where
Project
it's like
Runway,
you have to like, do your jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Like,
who can make the best shank?
Yeah.
Who can make the best shank in prison?
But okay, I'm not saying that these people should go to prison, but this starts to make me think, what is my dream reality show cast?
Yeah.
And I don't watch that much reality show TV. Like I do watch like Love Island every so often, but some of my because I do think Trump would be amazing on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Another amazing person, Azalea Banks.
Yes. Was she not on one?
No, I think she's just a singer. She's a singer.
Oh, okay. Who am I thinking of? Who was the
Trisha
other?
Paytas.
No, it was a black woman who used to be like, she was like, we are rooting for you.
Tyra Banks.
Is that the same person? Or you said
Tyra Banks and Azalea Banks? You think they're the same person?
No, their both names are Banks.
Christopher.
They're Banks.
Tyra Banks
Yeah.
is the Victoria's Secret model
Okay.
who had America's Next Top Model and a talk show, and she's unhinged. By the way,
But
she
aren't
needs to
they
be on.
both-
She's television gold. We need to get Tyra Banks back on television.
And
we need
both,
Tyra
okay,
Banks
can I say
on
something?
television.
They're both
Unhinged.
unhinged.
Yes.
And they both have the same name, Banks.
Yes, but
And they're not.
Tyra Banks
There's
is
no relation between them
no.
whatsoever.
Tyra Banks is just honestly a content genius.
Okay.
She's unhinged. She's edgy. She doesn't give
Yeah.
a shit. Is she a little cruel?
What-
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
what she was doing borderline abuse? Yeah. But this is America.
Yeah.
We don't care about people's rights if they're poor.
Yeah, that's right.
Azalea Banks. Now,
That's a joke,
Azalea
by the way.
Banks is a singer.
Yeah. He's
Um,
also unhinged.
Who's also unhinged.
Yeah.
And she has this Twitter where, girl, she has beef with everyone.
She
and
just talks
she's
shit about everyone.
all she does is talk shit. And she she had like hits. So Azalea Banks, successful singer, club music, think like a Charlie XCX,
Okay.
fairly successful, very successful, but not like the most mainstream person. She just started tweeting crazy shit.
Yeah.
And she has beef with everyone.
Yeah.
And there was like an internet trend where you would search Azalea Banks, your birthday tweet, and see who she had beef with that day. And sometimes she really eats. Sometimes she doesn't. Other
Okay.
times it's just like so unhinged.
And she's always talking shit.
She's always talking
What's
shit.
she doing now other than talking shit? She's still making
Oh,
music?
she's still talking shit.
Okay, but not making music?
I don't know if she's making music.
Okay.
But what I have to say is, but there are people like Tyra Banks. The fact that Tyra Banks is not on a reality TV show
Yeah.
is a great injustice.
Yeah.
Like you might not have been plugged in because you're a boy, but like she did some of the greatest television of all time. On her talk show, one time she pretended to have rabies and had foam coming out of her mouth.
As a bit to the audience, right?
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. Like
That's great.
She had modeling challenges such as changing your race, pretending to be
Oh,
homeless.
yeah. I remember the changing
Pretending to
your
be
race.
homeless. She would do makeovers where she would like give people gap tooth, which it actually is abuse. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wait, like permanently?
Yeah, she would be like, you'd be cuter with a gap tooth. Like, we're gonna give you, like, it's crazy. Like, one time she like sewed a weave onto this guy's face because she thought he'd be cuter with a beard. There was one America's Next Top Model episode where this girl's like friend had died that week.
Yeah.
And so they made her do a fashion shoot in a coffin. Like, she was crazy. And like, yeah, okay. Well, maybe give her a taste of real minute. Put her on a show, girl.
Yeah.
Some people were
The coffin friend just died is a wild thing to do.
Some of us were meant for reality TV.
Yeah.
Tyra Banks is one of them. Trump is one of them.
Yeah.
And
we have
like
a few stars in this country.
and it's like
they're destined for greatness.
you're actually wasting your potential being president.
You are.
Like, what are we doing? Like,
know.
you were meant for. And speaking of reality TV,
Well, he realized that the government is the greatest reality TV show.
the government is the greatest
And
reality
he
TV
went
show.
to it, so
Yeah,
makes sense.
every so often I see a video from the government, and regardless of what side you are on, you're just appalled. Like recently, I saw one. Like, do you remember when they had Mark Zuckerberg on and they were like explaining like Wi-Fi?
Oh, are you talking about? Are you talking about like congressional hearings?
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about it like as if
Okay.
it's a podcast.
Okay, you're
They
like
had him on the
yeah,
podcast.
they had him on the government. Yeah, I'm like, what? Oh, you
Oh, I thought that
congressional
was
hearings?
just a podcast.
Yeah,
There was
no,
a-
everyone. Yeah, well, that's because everyone who's elected senator was born in 1912. They're like, so what is? It's always a Southern one too. They're always
Yeah.
like, Mr. Zuckerberg, can you explain to me what a poke is?
Yeah.
I got a poke the other day. I did not feel the sensation of being poked. Can you explain what that is? Mr. Zuckerberg, can you explain to me why my wife and kids left me because I had a relationship with a Russian bot? Can you explain that to me?
But yeah, there's like a lot of people who I definitely believe were like meant for reality TV. Gypsy Rose meant for reality TV.
Yeah.
Honestly, Chappell Roan a little bit meant for reality.
Chappell
TV.
Roan, if she wasn't going to be a music star.
If she wasn't
she'd
so
be,
talented.
If she wasn't going to be a star, she would be on a reality show and she would be the character because every reality show has one person. They're at dinner and that person has to flip a table. There's always a flip a table moment in a reality show where they go,
And in the Bible,
and they
it
flip
was
the table
Jesus.
up. Yeah, that's right. In the Bible, it was Jesus.
Now, nothing's more cunty than when Jesus in the
Yeah.
Bible flipped
What is
over.
that story? I've heard this before. Jesus
So
flipped the
basically,
table.
like Jesus is on earth. This was like
Wait,
the New Testament.
Can I tell you what I heard the story was?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jesus was walking, and then he walks into like a temple or something.
Yeah.
And then there's a table, and they're playing like fucking like Settlers of Catan on it, or they're gambling.
No.
I thought they were like, they're in the middle,
they might be gambling.
They're middle in the game and they're like gambling, and Jesus is like, what the fuck? And they're like, thanks, dude, thanks.
That's basically.
We're in the middle of Risk. Thank you.
Yeah, that's basically he like went in and like they were like basically like gambling. They were selling goods. They were just making like a mockery of the temple where they should have been worshiping. So.
Trying to make a business.
Yeah, first of all, that's just a mega church. That's a mega church coffee shop.
It's a mega church now.
Yeah.
Do you think Jesus would come into a temple now and see the fucking people dangling from the ropes and all the special effects and flip a soundboard?
Well, I have been following this new Instagram. I don't know who runs it. It's a very small it's not a very small Instagram. That sounded mean. But it is a smaller Instagram, but I do see that my coworker Kate follows it, so I was meaning maybe she knows who started it. It's Pastors with Props. And it's a bunch of mega churches and like there's one where like they come in on a roller coaster like
yeah, you showed me one where this guy was giving a sermon and he was getting his hair cut the whole time.
There is something just so magnificent about southern mega churches. Like it's theater.
Can we go to one?
It's the magic of theater.
What's like the best? Is it what's that guy who's like, God loves you?
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, should we go to him?
He's a little bit more prosperity gospel, so he's a little bit, but he's
more like, use discount code God loves you right now.
Yeah, he's a little bit more of a business. Like he's a little bit more like you buy my book, God will. He's like manifestation.
Yeah, he's more like motivational.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But anyways, so that I do love that. So back onto reality TV. Are you familiar with The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Now, are you familiar with Bachelor in Paradise?
That's like the minor leagues of The Bachelor, from what I understand.
So it's like
that's like where they go, like they have it's like off season.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at prospects. We're trying to see who's the most mentally ill here to make them the Bachelor or Bachelorette.
So I've actually never watched a season, but they call it Bachelor Nation. If you were on The Bachelor and you became someone who was recognizable, like someone who kind of, even if you didn't win, but if you became someone who had a great personality, a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Even if you're a villain, you're like kind of a part of Bachelor Nation. And they have this secondary show. It's kind of like Love Island, but you you stay on a beach, and there's like games, and there's a bunch of different people, and it's a little bit more like sexy.
There's not really much structure, right?
I'm sure there is structure. I've never watched it, but that's not the point. The point is not about the show. But the show is more like Love Island, where there's more people and there's kind of it's more sexy, and like it's not just fighting for one person's love. It's like, there's a bunch of couples.
Yeah.
Now you're familiar with the Golden Bachelor.
Well, yeah, that's the new one where they got the old people.
We have the old people. It's
which,
like,
by the way,
anyone above like 65 or something.
Didn't he turn out to be kind of like
I don't think they worked out.
The biggest fuckboy of them all. I think he was like worse than the younger guys.
Yeah, there's something.
He was like, what do you
expect?
He was breaking hearts.
You expect a man who's 65 to respect women? Okay.
He was ghosting so close to when he's actually going to become a ghost. That's crazy. It's crazy to be ghosting when you're 4 years away from being a ghost.
Yeah.
It's really nuts.
So, the Golden Bachelor's a hit.
Yeah.
They're doing the Golden Bachelor Paradise.
Okay, so old people at the beach.
Hot, sexy.
We're gonna see some interesting.
Well, you do know that old people love to swim.
They do, because it's easy on their joints.
They love.
So we're gonna have a lot of. We're gonna have a lot of synchronized swimming workout classes with like the floaty things. And for those listening, we're doing like the motions.
The weights that are like styrofoam.
Yeah, the weights that are styrofoam.
Every morning they're gonna be doing Tai Chi on the beach.
Yeah, they're doing Tai Chi. Yeah. Oh man.
It's just Florida. By the way, this is Bachelor in Paradise, just Florida.
Have you ever seen those? Okay. So I grew up near the water, near the beach. Have you ever seen those old people that are like so tan?
Yeah.
They look like chicken nuggets.
Oh yeah.
Like they're like
that SpongeBob episode where he turns to leather.
Yeah, like no, they are literally, and they're at the point where it's like, timeline wise, the skin cancer isn't gonna be that's gonna be the fourth thing you have to worry about. Yeah.
They're probably only 40. It's just that their skin is
so bad. No, I like it when they get to an age they're like, well, I'm out of here soon, so I might as well just get fucking tan.
And we're not talking like tan people. Like we're not talking like Ariana Grande spray tan. We're talking about a color you've never seen before.
No.
You've never seen this type of skin before.
Like Coca-Cola brown.
It's kind of like when you get a blood blister.
Yeah.
But their whole
body is a blood blister. Yeah. The men on it are just going to spend most of their mornings with a metal detector scanning the beach. Just scanning the beach. Picking up coins.
They're going to play pickleball.
Yeah, they're going to be playing pickleball. It's going to be the worst season of The Bachelor ever. It's going to be.
Why are they doing this? Like,
yeah.
It's so insane. And part of me, like, Part of me likes it because I do think like we have an ageism problem
We do.
in probably in the world, but in the United
and it's
States.
an issue, by the way, because we're all going to deal with it because our generation and the one above us is bigger than the one below us. So there's going to be the average age of a person is going to go up as we age.
Oh,
You
that's
understand
good.
that?
Yeah.
So there's going to be more old people than young people.
Oh, that's good.
So we're going to like bully. You thought boomers are bad.
Yeah.
We're going to be so toxic. Oh my God.
But it is so crazy that like, why would you start an ageism problem? Like you're gonna grow old too.
I know. But it's fun to call people old.
It is, I guess.
But here's the thing. Hopefully, with our skincare and our Botox and our athletic greens, we will look better, you know?
Something I've been thinking about, and I know that this is, I've kind of been having some really bitchy takes lately.
Yeah.
And we've been clipping them. People talk about when your boyfriend likes girls' bikini pictures. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Especially when it's someone like, you know, there's certain people where it's like Sydney Sweeney. Okay, boys know Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
But when boys are like deep in, like, why does a boy know who Emma Chamberlain is?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, you're a fan.
Yeah.
And that's
you can't, it's always a bad sign when a boy is following a model that only has like 19,000 followers.
when a boy is following a model with, because I think in boys' minds, like they actually think like, oh, I could get with
So
them.
that's the thing. Boys don't realize that. I honestly believe that. Okay. Liking bikini pictures literally does nothing. Okay. As a man. A stranger, attractive girl on Instagram, liking your picture does nothing. Deep down, subconsciously, they think if I like it, that's me supporting her, which means that the likelihood of that her liking me increases by me liking the picture.
Meanwhile, she's DMing Blake Griffin.
Yeah,
Like-
you will never meet her.
She's,
You'll never meet her.
She's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
she's DMing other people.
Blake
Yeah.
Griffin's DMing her. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, she's DMing your favorite athletes.
Yeah. You are not even the same league. You're just a number. She's got her notifications turned off, by the way.
Yeah.
If she just checks them at
She
the end of the
doesn't
day,
check the
she goes,
hidden.
oh, that pic did well. It got 10,000 likes. You are a number in an algorithm. You do not stand out at all.
You don't stand out at all. And that's why it's such a betrayal, I think, as a girl and a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're doing something that actively hurts your
Yeah.
girlfriend's ego, and it does nothing for you.
It does nothing for you. So as a
Nothing
guy,
for
if you have a girlfriend, which by the way, if you want to look at pictures of girls in bikinis, you're a
Fine.
human, you're
No,
a guy.
by the way, no one cares. It's more about
Yeah.
letting people know.
But there's no reason to leave a trail.
Your name.
Why are you leaving a breadcrumb trail?
And it's also like, you know, and once again, like there are people who are very mainstream, like Sydney Sweeney, Selena Gomez, like
Yeah.
these are big A-list stars. These like internet people who also have like big female audiences, like that's where it like feels
Yeah.
even more icky. Or someone who's like an OnlyFans model, even though like I'm obviously pro my girlies, like I'm happy that they're all making money. I'm just talking about my mans, okay?
Yeah.
But something that's not talked about enough is my friends liking my ops pictures.
Oh.
Girls I don't get along with, girls I have beef with, girls who you know
But you have a
have unfollowed me, who
okay.
who we have shit. Like me and this girl
Yeah.
don't get along for good reason. My good friends who talk shit about her with me are
still
liking her
liking the
pictures.
pics.
And why? You guys are friends.
Yeah. To keep up appearances,
Maybe.
to keep up a relationship. They're playing both sides is what they're doing.
Now, I have a friend who's liking this girl's photos, right?
Okay.
I say to her, why are you liking this girl's photo? She goes, oh, I just like everything.
Oh, that's, by the way, such a boy response to being caught liking bikini pics. That is literally what a boy says.
I just like everything.
I like everything.
So why haven't you been liking my things?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Oh, you
tough.
like everything? Did you like Kanye's Nazi post?
Yeah. Do you like his new merch?
You like his new merch?
It just came out. Did you click on the link? Huh?
Huh?
Oh, you like everything?
Oh, you like everything?
Yeah.
Oh, did you like Russia's social
Instagram?
media campaign?
Yeah, Vladimir Putin's picture of him on shirtless on a horse. Did you like that?
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, interesting.
You liked when Morgan Wallen tweeted the N-word? I don't know what
yeah,
he
he
did.
didn't tweet
something
it.
with the N-word.
He didn't tweet it. He didn't tweet it. He got really drunk and said it on a Ring camera, like at least twice. And also, he owns a bar in Nashville, which we went to the outside of and we saw. And he got in trouble because he was caught throwing chairs off of the roof of it into a crowd of people.
That's crazy.
Get him to God's country.
No, by the way,
Yeah.
a reality star right there. That's
That
a reality
Morgan
star.
Wallen is a reality
That's
star.
a reality star. Like some of
Oh,
these people, like
yeah.
you're missing your calling. Okay, yeah, you're a millionaire. Oh yeah, you're a billionaire. Oh, you have a private jet. That's not your true calling. Music's not your true calling.
Put Morgan Wallen and Chappell Roan in a fucking show together.
Oh, Chapel will beat the
Oh
shit
my
out of him.
God.
I think she'll make him cry.
I think so too. Just a a militant lesbian and a racist hick together in a room.
By the way,
those are
Chappell Roan?
that is like the ocean meeting lava. Okay, two forces just. Oh.
And let me say something about Chappell Roan. If nurture had its way, or nature, whatever, nurture had its way.
Nature.
You said, what did you say about Morgan Wallen? What do you say? A hick racist?
A hick racist, yeah.
Chappell Roan was supposed to be a hick racist, but she didn't take that path.
No, she didn't.
She didn't. Just like I'm supposed to be a hick racist.
Yeah.
Some of us were born to be hick racist.
You're
supposed to like hate women.
I'm supposed to be on a sailboat. My path was I'm supposed to be on a sailboat. Should be golfing.
You should be golfing.
I should be golfing. I should have a wife that I am like with,
emotionally
like,
removed
I don't
from.
care about. I cheat on her with
sex bots.
With sex bots on the internet. I'm just kind of going through the motions in that because I'm trying to keep up face. I don't care about my children.
You have a coke addiction.
I have a coke addiction, but when I have a kid, I feel nothing.
Yeah.
I look at him and I feel nothing. Okay.
That was what was supposed to happen to you.
Yeah.
Now my path, I probably have 3 kids by now.
Yeah.
And I don't seed oils are a no for me.
No. And neither is the vaccine.
Are a no for me.
Yeah. They're not for you.
Girl, my kids are this close to getting the measles.
And they're homeschooled.
They're homeschooled. I have an essential oils business.
You do. You have a dumb business.
I have a dumb business.
A really dumb business. You might even be in a multi-level marketing scheme. You might be the head of one.
Yeah.
I could see that for you.
Totally.
Yeah. No.
Every Instagram caption's 2 paragraphs long.
Yeah. And it's always like you're dressing. It's always the first day of school for the kids, and you take a picture of them.
Always the first day of school.
And you dress
for the
them
kids.
up all matching.
Yeah.
And you just go through a whole like thing like Jacob was a little fussy this morning.
Yeah.
But I got him out of bed when I convinced him that I would give
Here
him a
are
treat
their
after school.
lunches.
Yeah.
Cucumber sandwich
Yeah,
shaped like
you'd
the cross.
You'd be a little trad wifey.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
And here we are.
Honestly, maybe we kind of go together. My coke addiction, apathetic.
You would have
life.
to hide it from me.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't be hidden. You would hide it from yourself. You would know how awful I am, but you'd go, it's just God's plan.
It's just God's plan.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I do think like I would want someone. I think I want someone more involved. I want someone who's going to be like an usher at the church. Like I need someone more involved.
Oh, okay, more churchy. Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that.
I need someone a little bit more evenly yoked with me, if I'm being quite honest. Maybe you could be DMing sex bots. I do think that could still be in your path.
Yeah.
But the whole like coke addiction,
sailboat, golf thing.
The golf thing. No, maybe we do go together a little bit.
No, but I could see faint religious.
No, maybe we do go together.
I could see faking being religious and like I go to church, but I also just sin all the time.
But I also just kind of think like you have a kid and you feel nothing, but you only have one kid. Like I still think that you're a little city. You know what I mean?
I'm a little city. Yeah, I'm a little city. I maybe have like 1 DUI under my belt.
That's what I'm saying. That's more you.
I got 1 DUI under my belt.
Like I don't drink.
And by the way, it's been expunged off my record.
Totally. I get high on the Holy Spirit.
We don't talk about what happened in the fall of 2015.
Totally.
We don't talk about that, okay?
Totally.
It was a night. We don't talk about it.
No, but your Tesla does have a breathalyzer.
My Tesla does have a breathalyzer.
Thank God it drives itself.
It does. Thank God.
Well, I will say Tesla driving yourself, I guess that's good for people with alcoholism.
Yeah, that really is. Oh, the Wagyu. What is it? Those cabs called in Austin?
Wagyu? Oh, yeah. Like,
well, I don't know what it's called. To correct us if we're wrong. Is
yeah.
Wagyu? I don't know. Yeah, those are just for alcoholics that need to, and then so you can drink while driving. It's like the how like when you used to drive drunk, you used to have to like have your hand on the wheel. Now you can just sit in the front seat and drink. It's like
and have your hand in your pants.
And have your hand in your pants. You can do a bunch of things. Guy, who do you think is someone? You think someone is definitely?
Someone's definitely jerked off in their Tesla.
No, yeah, jerked off in their self-driving Tesla.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking more of like they just like have their hand in their pants because like I feel like alcoholic guys like to have their hand in their pants.
Yeah, that's they go like this.
Yeah, I don't know if they're necessarily jerking off.
As a guy,
to keep you warm.
As a guy, this is the equivalent, I would imagine, of taking your bra off at the end of the day.
Putting your hand in your
yeah, but you have to like sink down in your seat and just go deep, all fingers in, and then cusp.
No, I know that hand smells so bad. There's a lot of like discourse online I've been seeing recently about couples having separate bedrooms. How do you feel about that?
I actually fully support that. Here's the thing. I think that all of us as people, as much as we might love our significant other, we all need a little bit of me time. No matter how much time you spend with your significant other, I think you need a little bit of like, just gotta be alone. I mean, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like some nights it's a little bit hard to fall asleep with someone else in the bed. It just is, you know. Sometimes it's nice to maybe like have your whole bed to yourself.
Be able to fart.
Yeah, be able to just unleash, you know?
I also just think, like, I want my things, like, I don't want a joint closet.
Yeah, that's another thing.
I don't think, like, it needs to be, like, a full another bedroom. Like, I don't think you necessarily even need to sleep in there. But, like, that's their room.
Yeah.
But, here's the deal. Like, I
like
think,
not, like, every night.
No, not every night.
Like, some nights you're like, hey, I'm going to be on the B stage tonight.
I think it's more of, like, here's my unwind room. I'm going to read, and then, like, we'll join each other in the same room. No.
Okay.
But
I can see that,
that's
too.
what I think would be best for me. But, you know, I start to think about that. I start to think about, like, my kitchen, and I like where all my things are in my kitchen. I like my bathroom. Like, I like where all my things are. And instead of separate rooms, what if you just got separate apartments?
Oh, okay.
A perfect relationship.
So,
separate apartments.
Now, are you spending a significant amount of time in one apartment, or maybe are you just both living in separate apartments?
No, I think we're living in separate apartments. And
okay.
I think man cave, but man apartment. It's even better than your own room. You have your own apartment.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't hate that. Now, not everyone can afford that. Obviously, a lot of people moving together save money. But if you can, maybe do it.
I just feel like that's
now, are they
the
next
secret.
to each other? Are they in the same building?
They don't have to be.
Honestly, separate apartments, not a bad idea. I do think people move in a little quick. Like, I'll meet people that are like dating for 3 months and they just happen to be in a situation where a lease ends in that time.
I feel like we know so many people who live together where I was like, really, you guys are already moving in?
Yeah, and you're kind of like, ooh.
And there's nothing crazier than like when you break up. And by the way, when you break up, you have to plan it with the lease.
That's right.
So you break up with someone, they're like, how long have you been wanting to break up? Well, 6 months, but I had to wait for the lease.
Yeah. You had to add some stoppage time to that.
Which, by the way, like kind of is like, you might say that's cruel.
Yeah.
But kind of like necessary for both of you.
That's right. It's a clean break with a contract ending, you know?
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I suggest to any couple, if you're like with someone and you think maybe I should move in with them, make sure that you go on a trip with them, and not just like a few days. I'm talking like a week-long trip. You need to really be living with someone for a trial period of time before I think you can move in. Do they do dishes? Do they clean up?
Do they do dishes? Do they clean
You know,
up?
I have a roommate.
Yeah.
We're having an issue with the dishes.
Totally.
And we got, by the way, we lived together at another apartment. We moved into a new apartment. We didn't have a dishwasher. We had to hand wash. And I'm okay with hand washing. It's more work, but I could do it. We now have a dishwasher. We have the same amount of fucking dishes. What's going on there?
Well, I had a terrible roommate, and I would be like, hey, and I'm not a perfect roommate. I'm a little messy. But I'd be like, hey, we gotta, not
Clean
leave
up.
our tampons on the floor.
Okay.
Like, a major thing.
I'm
like,
happy as a guy
there's
that's
blood
not an issue.
like a major thing. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not talking like a dish or two. I'm not that clean. And her response would then be like, hey, you left hair in the sink. Hey, like it would be like,
yeah, I don't like that when they go
then you have
tit
a
for tat.
spotlight on you.
Yeah,
so, like,
so then you have to be perfect.
You have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Which is unfair.
Yeah, if you ever accuse a roommate of being like, hey, can you clean up? You have to be the cleanest person.
Which is like totally unfair.
It's very unfair because no one's that clean, but like at least you won't leave a sink full of dishes or something really gross in the bathroom.
Yeah, like if you ask your roommate who never ever does dishes, there's always
Yeah.
dishes all the way to the top. Hey, can you start doing your dishes? You better not leave a single
you can never.
mug.
You can never.
Not a single mug.
Yeah. You have to clean, even when you're not in the mood and you want to do it later, you got to do it right then and there.
And it's hard because when you finally like address it, you like have now started this thing. Now I had a roommate.
Yeah.
God bless her. I bought all the furniture.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't ask her to buy any furniture.
But buying the furniture is because like you want to control the style of the apartment.
Not
too.
even necessarily that. It was
Okay.
more of like we needed furniture.
So you just got it done.
Yeah, I just got it done, and I
Yeah.
was like, "What do you think of this?" I kind of think it was before I was a little bit more confrontational, so I guess I kept thinking like, "Well, obviously this girl is," and also like her parents were like helping her out. It's like
Yeah.
obviously this girl's gonna cough up cash eventually.
Yeah.
But she never did, and you know what? It was annoying, but I didn't necessarily ask her. I didn't ask her to do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's fair in her. Whatever. So my TV, my couch, my rug, my everything. She liked sleeping on the couch. She liked sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
She loved being in the living room.
Yeah.
She would be in the living room for over 24-hour periods because she worked from home.
Okay.
So she would.
A real slob. A real couch slob.
Your words, not mine.
Okay.
So I bought this. Granted, it was like a $300 like Wayfair couch.
Okay.
But to paint a picture, she was on this couch so much, there was a dent
Oh boy.
where she sat.
Yeah. She's making her mark. She's marking
There
her
was
territory.
A double cheek
Yeah.
dent.
Oh, God.
A DCD.
A DCD.
Because she would work on the couch, then she would sleep on the couch. And I would wake up before
I
her.
hate when people, by the way, don't
you
sleep
can't
on the
sleep
couch.
in the common area.
Sleep in the bed.
You can't sleep on the common area. You cannot sleep in the
Sleeping
common
on a
area.
couch is
it's
such,
so disrespectful.
It's such, you could be employed, but it's so unemployed to do that.
It's so unemployed.
I don't care if you're the CEO. If you're sleeping on a couch, that is unemployed,
You're unemployed.
behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she's on the couch 24/7.
And also, by the way, that means the only time I can be alone is if I'm in my room. So then I have to like go.
So
to my
you've
room.
lost the common area. She's commandeered, and because you can't go in her room.
I can't
so
go.
now she
But
has
granted,
two rooms.
she has like a smaller room. To be fair.
Okay.
So like I understand her being in the common room because she had a small room.
Yeah.
But it was really the sleeping on the couch that was the problem.
It's an issue.
Because then I woke up earlier, so I could have had like the mornings.
And now you got to sneak around your own apartment
In
because
the
she's
morning and
snoring.
like and I like had like an espresso machine, so like
Yeah, it was loud.
It was loud, and I felt bad. And she was like, "Oh, I don't care," and it's like, I don't care if you care, like you guys.
Yeah.
Now one day I come home, I walk in, she's on the couch. She's in like, which is also, this is unemployed behavior. I do this, but she had like a nighty shirt.
Yeah, like a giant
like a big shirt and no pants.
Yeah.
She's sitting there on the couch watching TV next to her vibrator.
It's just out there.
No towel underneath.
It's just out there. It's on the fabric.
Yeah.
Did it look used?
Well, this girl never cleaned a dish in her life, so I can't imagine why
Oh,
she'd clean her
God.
vibrator.
Okay, so it was just out there.
So I said,
Damn, she's jilling in the living room. That's crazy.
I've never heard jillin' before.
Oh, it's like jacking off. It's called jilling off.
Jillin', she's jillin'
Yeah,
off.
she was jilling off. You've never heard that?
Yeah, it was Mount Rushmore on my couch.
Mount Rushmore on your couch. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's making herself feel at home.
Oh God. So what'd you do? Did you burn the couch?
Well, it took
Did you tell her? Were you like?
So I walk in, I say, "Is that your vibrator?" LOL. By the way, this isn't burned in my brain, so don't think that I don't have this.
So you have this down.
This wording is completely correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that your vibrator? LOL. Yeah. I'm just charging it. Why would you need to charge it in the living room? You used it in the living room. Like, don't lie to me. So I said, "Is that your vibrator?" LOL. Then I went to the bathroom. I took a second.
Okay.
I had to think because my upbringing. I've also never owned a sex toy.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I being judgmental? Like, I just have to check myself for a second.
You can't be sex negative.
I can't be sex negative.
We live in New York, Sex and the City.
But yeah, like I have
Yeah.
to be positive. I have to like yes queen my friend.
Yeah.
And sometimes like yes sometimes you don't always have to
Sometimes
yes queen.
you gotta go no queen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta go fucking French Revolution on queen.
Yeah,
and
they
cut her
have
head off.
made us even the woke mob can drone strike.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
right.
So even the woke mob makes mistakes, and sometimes you can't yes queen everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't support women.
Sometimes you gotta behead the queen.
So I sat in there and I thought, what would my friend? I was really close with my friend. I had a really great friend, Jess, at that point.
Okay.
She's a little bit older than me. She's an amazing girl. And I sat there and I thought, like, what would Jess do? Because I looked up to her a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jess would never stand for this. So I walked back out. I took a beat.
And you said, "Hey, bitch." Hey.
No, I said.
You said, "Hey, Jabba the slut." Get your fucking ass off the couch and get your gross ass, fucking filthy, like covered in slime vibrator out of my goddamn living room before I firebomb this apartment.
No, I said, hey, it's really, really, really like not okay that you have your vibrator on the couch. Like, it's honestly like really disrespectful.
Okay.
And
Good for you to say. Good for you.
now she popped back with this amazing response. So when you said LOL earlier, you were just being condescending. And
So how did you respond to that?
I said
Yeah.
yes. I said yes.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't. The truth.
No,
being,
I was out of shock. I said
you
LOL.
weren't being condescending. You didn't know what to say, so you were being ultra positive. Because you were like, ah, like that's.
I was like, is it a vibrator? LOL. Like that's
Yeah.
how I said. I think I was just in
By the
such
way,
shock.
did you say LOL like that?
No, I did. I said, is that your vibrator? LOL.
Okay.
So she said, are you being condescending? I said, yeah. I was like, this is like kind of insane. So I'm sure there were a little bit more things, but that's the only part I haven't burned
So
into my
did
memory.
did the vibrator ever make it back out to the common room?
No, but what she
Okay.
did do is like, when someone's wrong And this is like my least favorite thing. And I do understand because like and by the way, like an apology is an apology is an apology. So like if you apologize, like I accept that. But what she did do is like, you know, when people apologize and like they cry and they're like, I'm so stupid. I'm so and like it's like almost like now I'm like,
now
no,
you
you're
have to be like,
not
no, you're
stupid.
not.
Even though I'm like,
and then you almost feel like you have to apologize to them for making them cry.
No, I'm not gonna apologize for
Okay,
that one.
good.
And maybe if it was something else, I would have. But like this was a really hard roommate because this wasn't the old. It wasn't like that. She was just like. And by the way, I'm not clean, but it wasn't like that. It was more of like there were things like at one point like she like blocked me on Instagram but was still asking me about my personal life.
Yeah.
Like she was like asking me like how things and my boyfriend are going, but she blocked me and she never addressed it. And I even texted her like, hey, I just realized like I'm not following you on Instagram. Like I'm so sorry. Like that wasn't my fault. But obviously she had blocked me because she wasn't following me either. So it was just like this person was just like all over the map.
Yeah.
And so like as like in our relationship, like there was no way for me to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we're friends or not. Like, you know what I mean? And so like, and obviously this person just torpedoed, like this person's not well. She's vibrating on the couch.
They're mentally unwell.
They're vibrating on the couch.
They're vibrating
They're
on the
jilling
couch.
out on the couch.
They're jilling off on the couch.
If you're jilling off on the couch,
it's not a good sign.
So it was like one of those things where it was like, there's really nothing for me to do there except for try to remove myself. But then like something would happen and she would come for me for comfort. And so I was like comforting her, you know, or like trying to be a good friend. But then I'm like, well, this person doesn't even follow me back on Instagram.
Yeah.
I would love to hear your worst roommate stories. If you're listening to this pod, will you DM No Thanks We're Good your worst roommate stories? We'll read them aloud, like
your
the worst
roommate stories. We want to hear your worst roommate stories. Please send them to us. We'll read them live on the pod. Not live, obviously, because we record this, but
maybe you were the roommate.
And maybe you were the roommate, and maybe you were being toxic. And it's okay to admit that. We won't say your name. Sometimes it's funny to be a little toxic. Sometimes it's funny. You know?
It's really funny to be toxic. Now,
it is.
I do think
And if you're the one being toxic, it's okay. Now, if your friend is being toxic, it's not okay.
It's not okay. Well, if you're the one being toxic, like you're being fun and flirty.
You're being fun. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to No Thanks We're Good.
Thank you.
We love you.
We do love you.
Please subscribe, comment, share. Leave us a review on Spotify. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
We took over an old podcast at Barstool, so we have a lot of old reviews from an old show. And by the way, I still think that the intro to PB and Slay is playing. Which, if you hear that, you're probably like, "What the hell is that?" That's an old show that we took over.
Only real ones remember PB and Slay.
We recycle. We're green like that. Okay.
They were all my podcasts, to be fair.
Yeah, they all were your podcasts. That's right.
So,
listen
to my music.
Oh yeah. So Caroline's got some music out. Such a Bitch is one song.
And
The other song is called Lovesick. Stream both of them on Spotify. They are fantastic.
Medford, Massachusetts, May 8th, Deep Cuts. Can't wait to see you guys. I had so much fun this past weekend. I can't wait to see you guys.
The shows are great.
The shows are great. It's kind of a musical. It's kind of a story.
It's a good time.
May 29th, Chicago, The Den. I really want people to come to that.
Chicago.
It's like kind of a big venue, and like I don't want to be embarrassed in front of my other coworkers if people don't come.
That's right.
And then May 30th, The Royal, Toronto.
Yeah. I got to get my passport figured out.
And then also June 7th, Pittsburgh, June 6th, Philadelphia, June 19th, Minneapolis, June 21st, Milwaukee, June 22nd, Detroit.
Friday, May 2nd, The Gutter in Brooklyn. Got a headliner show. Got 2 shows, a 7 p.m. and a 9 p.m. I'm also doing Long Island on June 13th and 14th at the Brokerage. I'm doing the Hollywood Improv on Thursday, June 26th.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm going out to L.A. Then I'm doing Cap City in Austin on July 17th. So that. And also I'm going to have a date in Boston soon and a date in D.C. and probably a date in Philly. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye. Love you.